If anything, people want to blackmail us about aid and all sorts of things. But they know very well that there is no reason related to any wrongdoing by South Africa which has led to USA cutting its own aid. You can't say Donald Trump must be elected today and the following day he makes executive orders and then you come here and blame the South African government as if the South African government did not do anything in between. That was a predetermined outcome where he wanted...
Rule 84, the honorable member say he's calling us howlers. He's calling the honorable members of this house howlers. That is unparliamentary, Deputy Speaker. Secondly, Deputy Speaker, secondly,
it is obvious that President Donald Trump's order was based on the misinformation by the South African racist groups, namely AfriForum and Solidarity, who are the non-governmental wing of the Democratic Alliance and Freedom Front Plus. The DA has also recently completed a bogus working visit to the United States of America, and some members seated here today were part of that pseudo process.
Honorable Speaker and members, for 30 years, South Africa and America enjoyed sound bilateral relations. Whenever we had differences, we tackled them through constructive dialogue. Just as we value the strategic partnership with the US, so we do with countries from the global north. This is encapsulated under the pillar of North-South dialogue in our foreign policy. In short, it is about dialogue and partnership, not paternalism or imperialism. We place great value on our sovereignty, independence and autonomy, while committing to engagements with all states, including the United States. Honorable House Chair.
Which is imperialism. Trump engages in transactional and manipulative relationships with the world like it is his backyard. The hostility towards South Africa does not come from fraudulent boers spreading disinformation, but from America's imperialist agenda. The USA...
We have to distinguish between the people of America and the actions and the chaos that has been unleashed on the world and South Africa and Africa by a group of unregenerate racists who hate us for being Africans, who think they can abuse us.
Our government must dismiss opportunistic African and racist groups exploiting US imperialism to fund their racist fantasies of an independent state. That will never happen. We will expropriate land without compensation, whether they like it or not. If they object, they can seek refuge in America. Deputy Speaker, Trump and the USA are not demonstrating...
Reliant. Yes, Africa should learn to stand on its own feet and reduce their dependency on Western handouts. The ACDP also agrees with some Ugandan economists who view the freezing of foreign aid as a catalyst for exploring alternative revenue sources and reimagining the continent's economic trajectory.
Today, same tactics are being used against South Africa. The growing calls by right-wing groups for foreign funding to establish independent states and to be armed by foreign interests must be recognized as part of a broader plan. This is the early stage of economic isolation, leading ultimately to military intervention.
And it's not true that the AGOA thing is in the favor of big companies, etc. If AGOA goes wrong, it is ordinary workers in the agricultural sector, in the automobile sector. It will be ordinary workers that will lose their jobs. We cannot and we should not have that kind of situation. The problem is that our relationship with the United States is not in a good place at the moment. And it's not true that it suddenly changed now that Mr. Trump became the President of the United States. That's not correct. Under the Biden administration already, there was an agreement, a bipartisan agreement, to have the total relationship between South Africa and the United States revalued. A bill was passed in the Congress.
Cuba, Libya, Venezuela, and Chile are examples of nations that have suffered from US interventions because of their socialist policies, justified by false intelligence to advance imperialism. Cuba has endured decades of sanctions for nationalization of strategic sectors of the economy, supporting African liberation and socialism, while Libya was destroyed because Gaddafi rejected US dominance. We raise these historical facts because history must guide us in everything.
We have a Minister of International Affairs. We have a President. The reason why you're not posting the pictures of your American stay, because you met the janitors, you met the people there at this gate. Show us who you met. So I want to say to South Africa, let's fix our relationship.
Parliament. We must plead with those who hold this notion not to recruit us into this delusion. And my advice to those with less experience would be that we have also been previously misled before by someone who entrusted us with our parliamentary caucus to reject things for rejection's sake. And at times we were also given dry and uninspiring speeches at the last minute.
PEPFAR, or the President's Emergency Program for AIDS Relief, was initiated by President George Bush Jr. in 2003 and has enjoyed broad bipartisan support in the US. That means it was supported by both the Republicans and the Democrats alike. Now,
the return of the Trump administration has emboldened these forces, allowing them to undermine our democracy and economic stability under the guise of foreign policy decisions. AfriForum and Solidarity have erred in their modus operandi. Their recourse cannot be railing one government over another. Their pursuit for recourse could have found expression in other legitimate international.
This House, the temporal sequence of events. As we all know, President Donald Trump resumed office on the 20th of January 2025 and immediately signed far-reaching executive orders to stop PEPFAR funding to the whole world. PEPFAR, or the President's Emergency Program for AIDS Relief, was initiated